I remember the first time I read the book Letting Go by Dr. Hawkins. I was fascinated by the book, but at the same time, I was a little bit confused. I couldn't quite understand how to let go. If you haven't read that book already, I highly recommend it. It really changed my life. So, like you're watching this video, I started watching videos about that book, and someone intelligent in one of those videos said Dr. Hawkins should have called his book Letting Be instead of Letting Go. I was like, wow, that was an aha moment for me. I finally got it. When we say letting go, many mistake it for something, some sort of action, something you need to do. Um, it goes in the category of doing. But letting go is about a state of being. And letting go happens as the natural result of that state of being. Letting go is about just allowing everything to just be. It's about not having resistance or not fighting with things that have already happened. It's about not having that mental noise around what has already happened. It could be a situation or it could be just an emotion. Then, if you need to take action and you can take action in that situation, you take action from that quiet place. Of course, if you are in a dangerous or toxic situation, action comes first. You need to protect yourself first. But other than those situations, letting go is about allowing and it's about flow. And you can feel it inside when you try, when you are kind of forcing it. That's not letting go. That's you trying to control the process like you are trying to control everything else. And letting go sometimes doesn't happen all at once. It may come in layers. You have let go of something, and then that belief or that emotion shows up again, maybe a little later, maybe a little softer or lighter, um, because letting go and deep healing happens in spirals rather than straight lines. So, how we can let that happen? How we can flow with life? When you deepen your understanding of something through experience, a transformation happens, and then you naturally become ready to let go. Then you won't persist on letting go of situations that you are not ready for, that transformation hasn't happened yet. There is one thing we all can do, and that's actually all we can do, and that is being constantly aware of what is going on inside us. And I don't mean it mentally, really seeing what is going on. And it might be like a tightness in your chest when an old memory comes up, or it might be a thought like you are failing because an old pattern showed up again. Seeing those without dwelling on them, without having judgment about them, without trying to get rid of them as soon as possible, then we can, the more we do that, the more they lose their power over us and they become weaker. We are not taken by them anymore. That's when we have really let go. It might take some time, but it will eventually happen. I had a musician friend, and he told me once that sometimes he tried to play a specific note and he couldn't do it, no matter how hard he tried, to the point that he got so disappointed that he thought that's not going to happen for him. But then one day he woke up and he could do it. When it was time, when he was ready, he could do it. That's exactly with letting go. Sometimes we think that that's not going to happen. I have been surprised by that many times. I thought that I can't let go of that behavior or that emotional charge around some old memories. Um, but then I saw myself being in a similar situation and not behaving the same way, not reacting the same way. And then I realized that I have already let go of that pattern that was behind that behavior, or I don't have that emotional charge around some old memories. It's very exciting when it happens. And when it happens, you think that you have done nothing and it just happened on its own. But you did all that it was needed, and that was being the watcher, being the observer. When you want to move on from a relationship, at first you might want to move on by mm, distracting yourself, by repeating affirmation, or even by pretending that you don't care. But none of those works. But then, as you stay present and you allow yourself to feel the pain, to reflect, to reconnect with those parts of yourself that were lost in that relationship, then something shifts. Then you are not holding to the memories of that relationship with the same emotional grip. Then one day you wake up and you realize that you haven't thought about them for a while. You didn't force the process, you just allowed yourself to move on. Our conceptual self or ego wants things to happen fast. It wants results. It wants to check boxes. It wants certainty. Um, but soul moves more slowly. Soul's path is more about unfolding rather than fixing. So every time I rush the process, I know it's my ego trying to avoid the discomfort. When you persist on letting go of something that you are not ready for, you create more resistance, more suffering. Sometimes it's hard for us to accept that we are not ready because we so much want to let go of that thing. But then you have to know that no matter how many times you stomp your feet and want to let go of or force yourself to let go of that thing, it's not going to happen. You need to reconnect with yourself, return to yourself, and become the observer again. Otherwise, you create more suffering for yourself and no one cares. I feel like there is so much misunderstanding about letting go, and I hope this brought you a little bit clarity. And let me know if it even a little bit it changed your understanding of letting go. Bye.